What's up, YouTube? Today, or tonight, it is like 11:15 p.m. I am lost my voice there for a moment. I am making a burger. Now, like any burgers I normally do, or anything like that, I put mayonnaise on the bottom piece of bread. After mayonnaise, really, you're supposed to put your condiments on bottom. There's a reason for this. Okay. After your condiments, you put stuff like lettuce, tomato, onions. However, there is a exception for putting onions on bottom, and I'll get to that. Okay, after you put all that stuff on, then goes your burger with your cheese on top. The exception for onions is that if you steam your onions and get the juices, you can basically condiments all of your toppings like lettuce, tomato, regular raw onions you can put on bottom. Just because the basically, by doing your burger like this, it blends in the flavors evenly instead of having it taste like one flavor over the other. It's good to when you do your cheese on your burgers, it's always good to leave your cheese sitting before the burger's completely done. Just let the cheese melt evenly. But basically, this burger is a little bit different than most. Instead of normal bread, I am using raisin toast. Instead of beef, ground beef, I am using ground turkey. And and it actually tastes extremely good. This is the first time I'm trying it like this with turkey and raisin toast. But it is amazing. I already had one. This is my second one right here. I figured I would film it on YouTube since it turned out good. But the seasonings I am using is curry powder. Amazing stuff. I use curry powder on everything. And crushed red pepper. Crushed red pepper, I don't use it on everything, but I do use it a lot. So anyways, when doing it, okay, just let the burger, just let the cheese melt evenly over it. Have the bread already ready. These counters are clean. I just cleaned them today, so that's why I don't have them sitting on top of anything. Let that cheese simmer up real good, and a few more minutes. Let it bubble up. I like to be sure my cheese is completely melted. Like, once it has a few good bubbles popping on top of it, that's when it's pretty much good for me. And it's about to get there. About 3 more bubbles form, then I'll take it off. But this is an amazing burger. I've never tried it this way before. But like any burger, mayonnaise goes on bottom, then lettuce, then if you decide to put lettuce and tomato on top of the mayonnaise. The reason why I do it like this is to blend in the flavor very good. If you have it just randomly stacked on, or have it just like most of the stuff stacked on top or anything like that, or even mix your mayonnaise in with your cheese, the flavors don't blend very good, and you taste one thing over the other. And that's one of the many reasons why I don't like fast food burgers. They don't really do it right. They used to do it right, but big reason why I never like fast food burgers because they always make them too greasy, and they just don't know how to cook, and it's fattening like that. But bottoms up. Now, of course, after you get done using your dish, wash it every time. Don't let your sink pile up. As soon as you get done with one dish, wash it. It saves a lot of time, effort, energy. Makes things a lot neater. But yeah, this is a amazing burger right here. I've never thought of using turkey or raisin bread as part of this, as part of a burger. I found some ground turkey beef in the store the other day, and I'm not really a big fan of turkey or chicken, but hey, it was cheap. I like eggs, but a lot of burger products I'm not a fan of. So I figured I'd at least try it because it was cheap. I was low on money. I needed groceries for the house. All that good stuff. So I figured, hey, I'd get it. Now what did I do with that mayonnaise lid? But so I tried it. And raisin bread is just some stuff. Because I was over at my mom's house earlier today, and my sister, she had given me some raisin bread, so I figured I would try it. That is good, but I need to figure out what I did with the lid to the mayonnaise. Did I accidentally drop it in the fridge? No. This got me really confused. My arm's a little bit sore. I'm working out today. I overdid myself, but hey, it's going to work. It's going to be good in the long run. Or it's going to heal over. I'm going to get that tone look I desire. It was underneath the mayonnaise bottle. I am stupid. But yeah, always whenever you get done cooking. I mean, when my family was staying with me, because when I first moved out on my own, my family had moved in with me for a couple of months. And I told them, hey, don't let the dishes pile up. Y'all see, I mean, I did get out of hand for a while. I got depression and my house did get a mess, but it's finally clean again. And that was my fault. But while my family was here, I was cleaning up very good. And a little bit after my family left, I was cleaning up very good. Really it was about a couple months after they left that I just started getting into that depression. I just stopped doing stuff. Now that I'm not in the depression, I got everything sorted out. It's all clean. It's all in shape. Floor is vacuumed. Counter is wiped off. I'm getting back into where I wash the dishes as soon as I get done with it. I always told my family, instead of waiting for the sink to pile up, as soon as you get done with one dish, wash it. Not only will it make it easier on you, but it'll make it easier on everybody else too. It's way less work when you do it that way. Work smarter, not harder. And that was actually, it wasn't a saying that my father told me, but I did learn that through my father. Basically, if you're working, you're already working hard. You don't want to work any harder than what you have to. Instead, work smarter. Think things through. And that's why that's my favorite motto. You're going to be out on a hot day in the sun, and you feel like you might get dehydrated and you might pass out. Bring some water. If you get done with a dish like I just said, don't let the sink pile up. It'll just cause way more work than what needs to be done. Wash it as soon as you get done with it. If you feel like something's too heavy for you to move, like it is, think of a smart way. Maybe it could be taken apart. Maybe you can get an extra hand. Maybe you get a lift. Think smart, not hard. It's already going to be hard if you're working. You're going to be moving those muscles if you're working. You're going to be using energy if you're working. No matter what type of work it is, even if it's easy work, it's going to be working you. You don't want to work more than what you have to, because you're already working hard if you're working. You don't want to work any harder. You want to work smarter. And that is why that is my favorite motto. But that is an extremely amazing burger. You know, the only thing that can make this burger better, instead of American cheese, my three favorite types of cheese are cheddar, pepper jack, and goat. Goat cheese is actually amazing. But yeah, that was my turkey raisin toast cheeseburger. It is amazing. Y'all should try it. Remember, condiments on bottom. After condiments, if you decide you want any, if you decide you want lettuce, that will go on right after your condiments. If you decide you want tomato, that would go on right after your lettuce, unless you don't want lettuce. Which is best to, if you get tomato, get lettuce too. If you want raw onions, those would go on right after your tomato. If you want fried, grilled, or steamed onions, those would go on top of your cheese, which goes on top of everything else normally, unless you want fried, grilled, or steamed onions. Your patty goes in between everything. But what that's doing when you do it like that, it's just blending in your flavors. It's not making it where you taste more of one thing. And that's the way I like my burgers. And it's really awesome. I do know how to cook. I've been cooking since I was about 12 years old. I've been experimenting with different stuff. From the time I was 12, I was making my own stuff. I actually made my own unique dishes that were not thought of by anybody else. I just threw some stuff together. I actually made, one Mother's Day for my mom, I made this weird type of pie that basically had one of every food group. It had meat. It had vegetables in it. It had dairy in it. I even got some diced tomatoes for fruit. I got some rice, garlic, onions. I got bacon, cheese. There was broccoli in it. There was I can't remember what all I had in it. But it was basically like this weird pie thing. I used the cheese as the kind of crust. I had and then I also used cheese to hold it all together, and rice, and I know I had rice, broccoli, bacon, cheese, onions, garlic, tomato. There was a few other things that I put in it. I can't remember what all it was though. But basically, I ended up throwing all that together in like a pie dish and baking it. First, I fried up the bacon and boiled the rice and did all I need to do with all that stuff that needed to be cooked beforehand. Then after that, I did layers of each thing. First, I put in some broccoli. On top of the broccoli, I done like some rice. On top of the rice, I put on some shredded cheese. Bacon. Then from that, I chopped up some onions, garlic, and I can't remember what all I had in it. Diced tomatoes. Laid on I didn't put a lot of shredded cheese, just like a sprinkle over each layer, just so that way it holds together. But I can't remember. It was years ago. It was when I was like 11 years old that I made that for my mom one Mother's Day. But then I laid like sliced cheese on top of it. And she decided she didn't want it. She was like, she wasn't hungry. She just had a big meal at work, and it was Mother's Day. She got off work. I decided to make her a dish. Even had her a glass of milk or orange juice, and an apple on the side. And so she decided she didn't want it, but I ended up trying that. That thing was good. I mean, obviously, it was just some random stuff thrown together that I thought would work great together. One of every food group, basically. And it was actually pretty good. It was healthy. It was, cut it up into little triangle pieces and eat it. It was amazing. I still remember the taste of it. Even though I don't remember everything I put in it, I remember the taste of it. That thing was amazing. So yeah, I do know how to cook. I throw stuff together. I experiment. So, I mean, you don't have to take my word for it that that's the way you're supposed to make a burger. But after so many years of experimenting, that's the way that I found out tastes the best. I mean, I notice whenever you make it any other way, the flavors don't blend in together good, and you taste one thing over the other depending on what dominates the most. So sometimes you might taste the meat over everything else. Sometimes you might taste the cheese over everything else. Sometimes you might taste the mayonnaise over everything else. But whenever you stack, like put it in a certain order on the bun, the order that I found best, it seems to blend in really well. And it's like very little grease, so you don't taste much grease. But it's juicy. And so y'all don't have to take my word for it. I would recommend trying it that way. If anything, y'all don't even have to try it. But from what I experienced, that's the best way to make it. So yeah. But oh, that turkey and the cheese and the raisin bread, that was amazing. I've never tried it that way before. Of course, I stacked it up like I normally did, but using different type of meat and different type of bread. And that was amazing.